Hey all, I'm here with Jimmy, and I'm going to read you a little bit of The World According to Garp by John Irving. The scene I'm going to read you takes place late at night. Garp receives a phone call from his friend Roberta Muldoon, who's a transsexual woman who had read Garp's mother's book on feminism, realized that she wanted to be a woman, and came out. Garp's in bed with his wife, about to go to sleep, and things are heating up between the two of them when the phone rings. It was Roberta Muldoon on the phone, and that only convinced Garp that the victim was Jenny Fields. But the victim was Roberta. "He's left me," Roberta said, her huge voice swollen with tears. "He's thrown me over. Me! Can you believe it?" "Jesus, Roberta," Garp said. "Oh, I never knew what shits men were until I became a woman," Roberta said. "It's Roberta," Garp whispered to Helen so that she could relax. "Her lover's flown the coop." Helen sighed, released Garp's leg, rolled over. "You don't even care, do you?" Roberta asked Garp testily. "Please, Roberta," Garp said. "I'm sorry," Roberta said, "but I thought it was too late to call your mother." Garp found this logic astonishing, since he knew that Jenny stayed up later than he did. But he also liked Roberta very much, and she had certainly had a hard time. "He said that I wasn't enough of a woman, that I confused him sexually, that I was confused sexually," Roberta cried. "Oh God, that prick! All he wanted was the novelty of it. He was just showing off for his friends." "I'll bet you could have taken him, Roberta," Garp said. "Why didn't you beat the shit out of him?" "You don't understand," Roberta said. "I don't feel like beating the shit out of anyone anymore. I'm a woman." "Don't women ever feel like beating the shit out of someone?" Garp asked. Helen reached over to him and pulled his cock. "I don't know what women feel like," Roberta wailed. "I don't know what they're supposed to feel like anyway. I just know what I feel like." "What's that?" Garp asked, knowing she wanted to tell him. "I feel like beating the shit out of him now," Roberta confessed. "But when he was dumping all over me, I just sat there and took it. I even cried. I've been crying all day," she cried, "and he even called me up and told me that if I was still crying, I was faking myself." "The hell with him," Garp said. "All he wanted was a great big lay," Roberta said. "Why are men like that?" "Well," Garp said. "Oh, I know you're not," Roberta said. "I'm not even attractive to you, probably." "Of course you're attractive, Roberta," Garp said. "But not to you," Roberta said. "Don't lie. I'm not so sexually attractive, am I?" "Not really to me," Garp confessed, "but to lots of other men, yes. Of course you are." "Well, you're a good friend. That's more important," Roberta said. "You're not really sexually attractive to me either." "That's perfectly all right," Garp said. "You're too short," Roberta said. "I like longer-looking people. I mean, sexually. Don't be hurt." "I'm not hurt," Garp said. "Don't you be either." "Of course not," Roberta said. "Why not call me in the morning?" Garp suggested. "You'll feel better." "I won't," Roberta said sulkily. "I'll feel worse, and I'll feel ashamed that I called you." "Why not talk to your doctor?" Garp said. "The urologist? The fellow who did your operation. He's your friend, isn't he?" "I think he wants to fuck me," Roberta said, seriously. "I think that's all he ever wanted to do to me. I think he recommended this whole operation just because he wanted to seduce me, but he wanted to make me a woman first. They're notorious for that, a friend was telling me." "A crazy friend, Roberta," Garp said. "Who's notorious for that?" "Urologists," Roberta said. "Oh, I don't know. Isn't urology a little creepy to you?" It was, but Garp didn't want to upset Roberta any further. "Call Mom," he heard himself say. "She'll cheer you up. She'll think of something." "Oh, she is wonderful," Roberta sobbed. "She always does think of something, but I feel I've used her for so much." "She loves to help, Roberta," Garp said, and knew that it was, at least, the truth. Jenny Fields was full of sympathy and patience, and Garp only wanted to sleep. A good game of squash might help, Roberta, Garp suggested weakly. Why not come over for a few days and we'll really hit the ball around? Helen rolled into him, frowned at him, and bit his nipple. Helen liked Roberta, but in the early phase of her sex reassignment, Roberta could talk only about herself. I just feel so drained, Roberta said. No energy, no nothing. I don't even know if I could play. Well, you should try, Roberta, Garp said. You should make yourself do something. Helen, exasperated with him, rolled away from him.